What's going on everyone on YouTube? This is Very Melon Man, and I've basically gotten all the duels I want to share with you for today's highlights. Last time, we did the King of the Island Festival, and you saw those highlights, but now you're going to see something more fun, hopefully. Basically, instead of playing one deck, we played 3 decks for the Fusion XYZ Festival. It was best to just split the decks up into one Fusion deck and one XYZ deck, but these decks, and I hope you guys like the results. This should be much more interesting to watch than yesterday's. So, 10 duels. We're going to start with the first 2 duels using the updated King of the Island Festival deck I used. Yeah, Mother, Spider, Spitter, OTK again. And for some reason, my opponent literally just passes. I have no idea what he was thinking. But it was good for me. Mother Spider and the Baby Spiders. Baby Spiders into Ravenous Tarantula. Ravenous Tarantula into Pain Gainer. But new to this combo is number 77, the 7 Sins. This time we have Ravenous Tarantula on the field. The combo becomes a true one turn. It becomes a true 1-card combo, as well as a 1-turn, and may also a much more consistent 1-turn kill. The 7 Sins starts with a massive 4,000 point stat line. So you only really need, instead of needing to set up your board with a bunch of monsters to make sure your opponent is defeated that turn. He was using the Leaderless deck. This time, all you really need to do is make sure you can clear the field and get up to 7 Sins. And then you can attack for AK for game all the time. But yeah, this time it's Lunar Lights. Lunar Lights Leaderless can be played in both King of the Beast and Fusion XYZ Festival. So for a lot of people, it was better to just make one deck to go into both events and rack up all 62,000 free gems that way. But here we go. Twin Twister. Discard Small World. We already have our Murder Spider Splitter, so we don't need Small World. As for the monsters, we can take care of them after we get Pain Gainer on the field. Because, remember, Pain Gainer has a board wiping effect. Yeah, here we go. Right, Pain Gainer has a board wiping effect. Seven Sins. You know the drill with Baby Spider at this point. Just to mock my opponent by playing my other monster in defense mode. Boy, I hope my opponent doesn't hate spiders after that. But that's enough of that. I wasn't going to subject you guys to literally nothing more than more of that. So I decided to mix up a bit. I'm not saying I'm not playing other powerful decks, but yeah, the best thing about these festivals is getting the chance to play other decks that I wouldn't have really given the chance otherwise. And these next 2 decks are actually some of the most powerful you can play in the current meta. But I've never played them before personally, so they're really a new territory for me. The first is the Fusion deck I made. Branded Bystiel Despia. Yeah, I was trying to remember the last name. Branded Bystiel, Despia. Now, the worst thing about making decks like this is that the reason months ago these cards were on sale in their own booster is to make it easier for you to just get these cards instead. But yeah, one of these combos here is a Albion starter combo that allows you to get Branded Fusion from turn 1, then go into Libellion. But there's another combo where you just start with Branded Fusion outright. But there's also ways to manipulate your deck and graveyard to get you Branded Fusion if you get the right cards you opened up with. And But the main reason I avoided playing this deck was specifically because I got super tired of getting burned by they had a less powerful version of the Blackwing tax deck lock, basically, like months ago, but I don't think it's viable anymore because of the power creep and as well as some other cards getting banned. What was my opponent playing? This feels like a loner. Yeah, this is a loner deck for sure. Oh no, it wasn't a loner. They didn't have as many cards as they wanted to get all this stuff. Like, a loner would not have a card like this. They just would not. It wouldn't look that rare. Alright, we started Brand Loss, summon Albur, the Jester Despia to add Brand Fusion to our hand. Then we get to send Fallen Albaz and the Bystiel Rebellion to the graveyard to fusion summon Albion the Branded Dragon. Albion Branded Dragon, Branded Lost. Branded Lost pretty much protects your fusion monsters around their effects negate, which is why it's so good. But this time, we fuse Albur and Fallen of Albiaz to summon Lubellion, Searing Dragon. And by doing this, we fuse Lubellion with Fallen of Albaz in order to fuse summon Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. Man, they have so many cards that get special fusion abilities. And then there's the Bystiel Lubellion himself. I should have put it in defense mode. There was really no point in putting it in attack mode, but it's alright. I heard Hurleys were kind of OP, so I was really wondering what my opponent was going to do here. But fortunately for my opponent, I opened up with Tri-Bright Mercurier, which lets me negate monster effects. The opponent went for another Pearly Social Summon to get another effect, though. But at this time, I used Mirror Jade to, like, just banish whatever monster he was trying to make. That was clearly something he needed if he needed to switch summon from his deck. Oh, he has Galaxy Eyes. He was going for a Galaxy Eyes thing. Then Branded Banishment. Go for Despia. Albion the Branded Dragon is back. But this time I could use monsters on his field to get Predaplant Dragostapelia. And this time I could search on our monster. And that's a wrap. That's what happens if everything goes well. These next two games are basically what would happen if I have to do a lot more work. Toddler, Oh, apparently Hollow Studios writers are reportedly nearing a deal to end the walkout, but I'm not sure how that works out. Anyway, we open up with Albur and Branded Fusion, but this guy has max C, so that's going to be a problem. That's why I went with Branded High Spirits. This deck can special summon and plus so many times that max C is very difficult to play around. But here's Albion the Brand Dragon again after Brand Fusion. Opponent draws, but my opponent either drew into or finally had infinite impermanence. I assume he literally just drew because otherwise he would have just impermanenced my Albaz. But I have the Light Bystiel in the graveyard now. So I Red Sand, Branded Loss. I use Albion to set, Branded Red as well. And I get to add Blazing Cartesia back to my hand. That card is nuts, honestly. Just Brand. Hey. Goldona, so against Captain Sargas, against Mirror Maker, but I use Branded Red. My opponent is recalled by the grave. Pretty much ruining my entire counterplay. Good move, AM. Good move on you, dude. Very good. Mirror Maker gets more material. And Spriggans just dump materials onto their XYZ monster, which really terrified me. And there's Gigantic Champion Sargas. Cool monster. Cool looking. Oh my god. Look at that gorgeous rare art. That man is proud to have that card. Spriggan's Rockery. Rocky, Spriggan's Haransan, Bratslatan, destroy it, and he got rid of my Branded Loss. And XYZ Summon. I gotta straight up admit, if my opponent played smarter, I would not have won this fight, and you're gonna see what I mean. I know summoned to Albert. My opponent had Ash, so I didn't even have to trick him into using up a Mole Summon. So I use Fusion Point instead to such summon Fallen. That I use Albus Threat. But this scared him so much that he thought I could still pop off a Fusion. He had literally forgotten that he had negated my monster's effects at the end of the next turn. So, that whole thing didn't work. But I got Branded Retribution to work. So I got Branded Fusion back. Played Branded Fusion. Went for a Lubellion after setting Despia and Tragedy and Fall of Albus to the graveyard for my deck. Then I did an Fusion with Lubellion. But the problem here is that this man, again, completely forgot that Zeus isn't going to help him here, because that's not how this deck works. The effect's still activated, it's not negate. And because of that, he ends up paying the price for his 2 misplays with my Mirror Jade. Now, I have to admit, I forgot about Fallen Abbas' effect being negated as well. The first misplay that he did was because of my own misplay. But it works out for me, because I have Branded High Spirits, I get to set another card, and I get Blazing Cartesia back. And unlike my opponent, he can't, like me, my opponent couldn't recover from that, so he surrendered. That was a good duel. You frankly should have won that duel. At the very least, it could have kept going on longer. But that's just the nature of this type of deck. This deck has so many combo lines you can go into that I was sitting on what to do for a long time on this duel. And this duel is probably the best. I was only going to do 4 duels per other deck I had. So getting this duel as my literal final duel with this deck was incredible. Open up with Branded Loss, then play Soul Sark. I would have banished Despia and Tragedy with Golden Sark, but I didn't have that choice, so instead I set Tragedy and banished Super Polymerization. I really didn't have anything else to add to this deck. I don't know. My opponent I could have literally added anything else, like a board breaker, but it was literally, what else could I do? I didn't know what my opponent was going to bring to the table. So, Gold Sark, 1. Normal Summon Fallen Abaz just to scare him, because I need to reinforce my field, then set Call by the Grave. I get Cross at Designator. Holly. I guess, but basically my idea with Super Polymerization was that if he does summon a monster, I would be able to fuse it off for something I could use later. So I have Branded High Spirits, discard 1 Albaz and 1 Albion to get Blazing Cartesia back. I love this card. Then I fuse Albaz and Despian Tragedy for Lubellion. I get Albert, the Jester, in my hand. Normal summon Albert. Get Brand Fusion. Brand Fusion. Another Albaz and Lubellion in the graveyard this time. For Mirror Jade. Now, there was so much going on, I forgot that Swords Revealing Light was still up for a turn. He plays Air Heartsick with a Simorg, and I tried to cross out Designator and block Raigeki, but then I learned I didn't actually put Raigeki in this deck. I was building these two decks back to back, so I completely forgot in this moment of panic that I had a Raigeki in the other deck, but not this deck. So I designated a Max C instead. But I went for Kateris with my fusion because I could use Kateris' graveyard effect alongside Mirror Jade's graveyard effect. At Living with Despia, my opponent played Triple Tactics to draw 2 cards. Then he uses Alburns to add some more of Ancestry. Simorg of Ancestry returns cards to my field, my hand, and he gets to do battle. But I have Brandon Red still, so I can use this. Fuse these two off together to go for Brigand, the Glory Dragon, which cannot be destroyed in battle. So I also get Mirror Jade back because of that fusion summon with Ad Libitum of Despia, which needs to leave the banished Simorg. We're good. But Splend also lets me add Strigan's Kit. I don't special summon. I don't know if that was the best move or not, but I was also running out of time here. I was just straight up not capable of making or thinking through most of my plays because of how low time I had. Like, I was seriously struggling to figure out what to do. But either way, Destiny Tragedy, Banished Destiny Tragedy. I got greedy here because I had game. So I had Brandon opening. And we joked for game, but he had Mirror Force the whole time. So that's the thing. But I can use Brigand to summon a monster to set, and again, I couldn't do any more because I was running low on time. That was the best I had. Dark Simorg is on the field now. What am I going to do? Oh, my Super Polymerization comes in clutch after all. So I did make the right move. Because that lets you get Starving Venom out. I immediately go for Brandon Red because I thought I could just use Fallen Albaz and something in my graveyard, but it turns out it needs a monster in the field. Again, I panicked because this was an intense match, so I go for another Mirror Jade. But I can't attack, so it would have been better just to attack with Starving and Venom Future Dragon. I negate his monster with my Tri-Brigade Mercurier. Simorg being an entire archetype now is pretty nuts to me still, though. I went for Brain opening, and he counters with Ash Blossom. I don't know if he was stopping a genuine move, or if he just panicked to seeing me activate any cards at all, but whatever happened. Alright, we attacked directly since I banished this Mirror Jade. Rainbrum the Striking Dragon by Blade Cartesian back my hand because I sent a fusion monster to the graveyard. And it only matters if a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard. So that was a neat little move. But I also get Rainbrum's effect to add Fallen Albaz back to my field. We switch summon Cartesia. He goes for Simorg Skybow, and I'm glad it was a trap he could actually use in battle. A battle trick, he called it. But yeah, I finally win. This was an intense game. And like the last game, where I'm sure my opponent could have beaten me if he didn't misplay. I genuinely think I had this game in every regards. X-Protector, you were awesome. You were just an awesome opponent. But that was enough for the Fusion half of this festival. Time for the XC's half. Alright, my opponent opens up with Lunar Fusion, so I counter with Max C, simple enough. They go for Cat Dancer. And that's all they do after saying twice. So this is going second Spright. Yet your eyes are not deceiving you. I am finally playing Spright. Then Dark Hole destroys Fusion. But I don't have anything else to do. I just broke his board instead. Lunar Tiger, and then, well, I call by the grave as Cat Dancer because I'm not dealing with a monster born once per turn. And Serenade Dancer has another effect. Summons Blue Cat. I take damage. I think if this is definitely the Loner again, but the Loner can actually do some stuff. Opening the Spirits, I use incorrectly, for the most part. Harpy's Fire Duster, get rid of that thing, Dark Summoning Beast. And roll summon Dark Summoning Beast. Oh no, I couldn't do, I thought I was going to get something else, but what you have to do is open Dark Beckoning Beast, then search for the Spirit Gate card, then roll summon your second Dark Beckoning Beast with Dark Beckoning Beast's effect. So instead, I did this. Nimble Angler Dark Beckoning Beast, making the big boy gigantic Spright. Even without his links, this is still a top tier deck for this event. Simply because it's still pretty easy to OTK after you break your opponent's board. Now, my opponent can only search summon level 2 or lower monsters due to the effect of my Spright, which is why it's such a really cool monster. It buffs itself, it social summons, and it's basically like acts as like a floodgate. Then we Gamma Burst. I decided to be fancy and go for number 96 Dark Mist, since I was never really going to find another opportunity to play it. And my Gamma and my Gigantic Spright keeps the attack boost for the rest of the turn. Going second Sprites. Sometimes going second doesn't always guarantee you the victory, but it helps a lot. But you can still recover fairly easily. Mathmech. This Mathmech deck really tested me, though. I will admit. I'm super glad I opened up with Max C, because otherwise I would not have had the resources to play around Mathmech. Straight up, would not have had them. The last time I faced this deck, months ago in another event, I didn't think it was all that big of a deal. But then again, it was like an XC's only event, and I had like a Utopic Hope deck. So I could deal with all of Mathmech's stuff very easily. But now Diameter and all that stuff, they're just kind of crazy. They max C, but I have Call by the Grave and Triple Tactics talent. So love, thank God for that. I don't want him to do anything about that. So I draw 2 with Triple Tactics talent. Finally get to use this card in these festivals has been pretty fun. But anyway, we make the boy Gamma Gigantic Spright. Spright Blue. into Carrot. Carrot is a protection somewhat from his way battle cards he has. With just 100 life points, it would have been kind of nuts to deal with him. So this one, I use Ninja Shadow Mosquito. I was trying to go for that other XYZ monster I had that did burn damage when my opponent activated the monster effect, but I didn't have the right materials for that one, unfortunately. If it did, I would have ended the duel right here. Because Prime Mathmech Albertian here's addition to play Mathmech Induction, boosts his monster attack points. I use Ninja Shadow, but he negates that. I do it again, but he didn't negate it for the rest of the turn. He only negated the activation of the ability. I don't know what else I could have done here. I was kind of desperate getting rid of it. So I use Raigeki. Go for Nimble Beaver. I'm honestly not sure if this special summon would have mattered or not. Yeah, this would not have mattered too much because even if I had no XYZ, I would have basically just fallen for that anyway. Thought I could get off Angler's effect here to recover, but it wouldn't work, so I kind of panicked. But unfortunately, his Prime Mathmech Laplacian can protect itself. I was prepared to eat the loss if this did lead to my loss. Firewall XYZ Dragon. I thought I had some other way that boosts his attack points after that, but nope, didn't. In fact, Firewall XYZ Dragon doesn't even seem to have protection, so. Dark Beckoning Beast. Search this, opening the Spirit Gates. Play it. And that is a godsend, because my opponent targets the wrong thing. It's a Dark Beckoning Beast that could... Actually, I don't think it would matter, because I still have the effect of Dark Beckoning Beast anyway. And all the sprites in my graveyard are... graveyards. He folds because I think he either realized it's a mistake or that his... it didn't matter if he targeted the opening Spirit Gate, because I still had Spirit Gate, and I still had the effect of Dark Beckoning Beast anyway. But now, wow, it says a lot about how good all these duels were, that this episode was probably way longer than my, than yesterday's episode about my King of the Festival highlights. And I don't even have to resort to speeding up, because there's just so much cool stuff to look at. This opponent, he plays Dark Magician. Illusion of Chaos to get Magician's Rod. Sets Eternal Soul with the field spell. Magician's Salvation gets Dark Magical Circle. Searches for Soul Servant. If I hadn't drawn Spright Star, I'm not sure how I would have been able to play around all this, but Dark Beckoning Beast to add opening Spirit Gates to search for Dark Beckoning Beast, use the second Dark Beckoning Beast for Spright. Use Sprite's effect. My opponent goes for Eternal Soul, intending to banish gigantic Spright. That's why I have Spright Starter out. This lets you social summon Spright Carrot. My opponent gets Dark Magician. I'm allowed to resolve the effect of gigantic Spright to get Spright Blue. I play Spright Blue's effect. My opponent uses a Carrot, but I have Carrot's effect to sacrifice Spright Blue in order to protect my monster from being affected by that spell or trap card effect. Then I get Jet, which is blue. Jet's effect activates, allowing me to add Spright Gamma Burst. Opening the Spirit Gates lets me discard Nimble Angler to get Dark Backing Beast. Then Nimble Angler's effect lets you summon 2 Nimble Beast. Spright Gamma Burst. And that's basically how it's supposed to look like when you actually go second. Alright, my opponent happens with Dull Happiness to search Box of Friends, then uses Dull Happiness to destroy Dull Monster Bear, and use effective Box of Friends to summon 2 more normal monsters. Leotron and Gukon Sunship Sari gives them Princess Cologne in defense mode, then they switch summon Box of Friends, and they set a card. I have Darkhold to break the board. And I have a counter to Box of Friends in the form of Call with the Grave. Cool deck. Really cool deck, that Box of Friends stuff. Nimble Beaver such summons Nimble Angler. I go for Gigantic Spright. Get Spright Jet. Spright Jet lets me add Gamma Burst. Special summon Blue. Blue lets me add Carrot. Carrot special summon. I go for Gamma Burst. That's it. That's it in the game. They try to Call by the Grave. They can't do anything. Doesn't matter. Call by the Grave was not going to save them at all. And that's a wrap. I had a good time playing these games. I guys hope you had a great time watching me play them. 3 decks that you can still use right now. This festival is still going to be lasting for a while, even after I upload this video. So, if you want to play them, play them. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Take care.